In this video, we'll look at a few examples on how to solve for angles. So for example 1, we're given this and we're asked to find x. Now, we can see that these angles go right around. Now, if we look at the summary, we see this corresponds to this revolution. Now, when all the angles go right around, they add up to 360, and our reason is revolution. So what we're given here is x, 150 and 140. So we simply write down that x plus 150 degrees plus 140 degrees all equal 360 degrees. And our reason is revolution. And now we need to solve for x. So when we do equations, we have to take the constants to the right-hand side, and our terms that contain x we keep on the left-hand side. So x is then equal to 360 degrees minus 150 degrees minus 140. And then we add the like terms. So x will then be equal to, so we have 360 minus 150 minus 140, and that's equal to 70 degrees. So that's our answer. So x is equal to 70 degrees. Then for example 2, now we're given a straight line and we've got these two angles that lie on it. So if we look at the summary, this one is where the statement says that the two angles on a straight line adds up to 180. So we say that B1 plus B2 is equal to 180, our reason angles on a straight line. So in our case, we've got a y and 150. So we'll say that y plus 150 degrees is equal to 180 degrees, and our reason is angles on a straight line. And then we simply solve for y. So y then is equal to 180 degrees minus 150 degrees. So y is equal to 30 degrees. For 3, we once again have these lines, or this straight line, and all these angles lying on that straight line. So reason once again is we're going to use angles on a straight line. Now, so solving that, we basically write down all our angles on the straight line. So we have x plus 2x plus 75 degrees will equal 180 degrees, and our reason is that angles on a straight line. And then we basically solve for x. So all our variables that contain x is on the left-hand side, and then all the constants we take to the right-hand side. So that's the 180 degrees, then minus 75, because if we take it over the equal sign, it changes sign. So we add our like terms, and we've got x plus 2x is 3x, and that's equal to 108 minus 75 is 105, and then we divide both sides by 3. So this will then give us 105 divided by 3 is then equal to 35. So x therefore is equal to 35 degrees. In example 4, we have these two unknown angles. We've got an x and a y to solve for. So first of all, let's start with x. Now we can see that x lies vertically opposite to this angle, that's 72. Now, if we look at these, we've got that's this. So our reason will be vertically opposite angles. Now we just simply state that x is equal to 72 degrees, and our reason is vertically opposite angles. And then onto y, now that we know that this is also 72 degrees, for y we can see that this actually also lies on a straight line over here. So we know that y plus 72 will then equal to 180, since they lie on a straight line. Reason angles on a straight line. And then we solve for y. So taking the constant to the other side and changing the sign, y is equal to 180 minus 72 degrees. And that will be equal to 108 degrees. For example 5, we have a and b. Now starting with a, this angle over here and this angle over here are co-interior angles. See, they form a U. Now, if we look at this, we've got our U here, and so our reason will be that it's co-interior angles. Now, we state that A plus 112 degrees will be equal to 180 degrees, and our reason is co-interior angles. And then we also say that AC is parallel to DE. And then we solve for A. So A is equal to 180 degrees minus 112 degrees. And this will then be equal to, so if we just solve for that, we've got 180 minus 112 is equal to 68 degrees. So this is equal to 68 degrees. And then we've got B to solve for. Now this B and this 42 angle forms alternate angles. So therefore B is equal to 42 since alternate angles are equal, and our reason is alternate angles, and we say that AC is parallel to DE. Then for example 6, we have once again, we've got an X value to solve, Y and Z. Now first of all, let's look for X. Now X, if we draw a line over here and here and here, we see that this angle is equal to this angle because they form alternate angles. So once again, our reason is going to be alternate angles. Now we state that x2 is equal to 50 degrees, and our reason alternate angles, and we have to say that EB is parallel to AC. Then X is solved for. Now X2 and X1 is given as equal, so we know that this is equal to 50 and this is also equal to 50. Because they're equal, we can basically state that X1 is equal to X2 is equal to 50. This is given. And then we need to solve for Y. Now these three angles lie on a straight line, so therefore they will add up to 180. So we can say that 50 degrees plus 50 degrees plus Y will be equal to 180, and our reason being angles on a straight line. And then we calculate Y. So Y is then equal to 180 minus 50 degrees minus another 50 degrees. So this is just minus 100. So Y is then equal to 80 degrees. And then finally for Z. So now Z, if I look carefully, this forms a F with this angle. So angle X and angle Z will be equal. And the reason being that they are corresponding angles. So we can say that Z, angle Z is equal to X1, which is equal to 50 degrees. And our reason is that that's corresponding angles. And we state that EB is parallel to AC. And then for example 7, so what we need to solve for is this A, X, Y, and Z. Now, first of all, let's look at some. So we're also given that these guys are parallel. So that's something we're going to use. And if we start with X, we see that these lines, this forms angles on a straight line. Now, once again, we're just going to use angles on a straight line. So we have that 60 plus 80 plus X is equal to 180. Reason is angles on a straight line. And then we solve for X. So X is equal to, taking the constants to the other side, 180 degrees minus 60 degrees minus 80 degrees. So if I say 180 minus 80, that gives me 100 minus another 60 is equal to 40 degrees. And then we have X's value. Now Y is quite easy because these two are vertically opposite angles. So we know that Y will be equal to 80 degrees because they are vertically opposite angles. And that's it for Y. Then Z. Now Z is, it forms an F over here. So this angle over here is equal to this angle over here. So this is going to be that Z is equal to X, which is equal to 40 degrees. And our reason is corresponding angles. And then we have to state that CF, so CF is parallel to AB. And finally A. Now to find A, we can also look for over here. Over here we see that A and this angle of 60 are also form an F, so they are also corresponding angles. So A, therefore, is equal to 60 degrees. Our reason is corresponding angles, and CF is parallel to AB. Then for example 8, now we have X, Y, we have that these guys are parallel, and this is also given as 90. Now to start off, we've got X, so what we do have is we've got X is an alternate angle to this 101. Now if we want to first of all start, if we can find 01, we have X's value basically. So 01, these three angles lie on a straight line, so I can start off by saying 01 plus 60 degrees plus 90 degrees. That's the three angles. They all add up to 180 because they are angles on a straight line. And then we solve for 01. So 01 is equal to 180 degrees minus 60 degrees minus 90 degrees. And then we have 180 minus 90, which is 90, and then minus another 60 is 30. So we have that 01 is 30 degrees. And then we see that these guys are alternate angles. So X is equal to 01, which is equal to 30. The reason is alternate angles. And our parallel lines are AB is parallel to CD. And then we need to find Y. Now, Y forms a U with a 60 degrees angle. So therefore they are co-interior angles. So co-interior angles add up to 180 degrees. So Y plus 60 is equal to 180 degrees. Our reason is co-interior angles. Our parallel lines are AB is parallel to CD. And then we solve for Y. So Y is equal to 180 degrees minus 60. So this gives us then 180 minus 60 is 120 degrees.